All right, check out this example. It looks kind of crazy. There's a lot going on. There's variables on this side and variables on this side. And I know to separate my sides out because I could draw a straight line through my inequality and straight down. Okay, now I do this just like the last chapter, just like the last unit with equations. I pretend my equation is right here. If it was an equation, it would say equals, but it's not. It's an inequality instead. So this side over here is greater than or equal to all of this stuff. But what I can do is I can undo my steps on this. Again are distribute if you have the distributive property. This is called a multi-step inequality. There's a lot going on in this one problem, but typically we want to get all of the variables to the other side. So technically what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this one and try to move it to the other side. We don't show our work like that though. Instead we show our work like this, minus 3x, because it's a positive. I'm going to subtract 3x from that side, subtract 3x from this side, and then what do? 3x minus 3x will cancel out and will go away, so I like to cross those out because they turn into 0. Then I like to rewrite it, and I'm going to write 5 minus 3 is now 2x. 2x minus 6 is still left on this side, and then I write down my inequality. It does not flip because I did not multiply or divide by a negative number. But what do I have left here? I drop that straight down, and this is now a 4. All right, those canceled out. My 4 is left, and I like to write it like this. Now it's getting simpler. It's a little bit easier, not too bad. Here's our next step. Try to undo this part. Don't deal with the 2 yet. Deal with adding 6. Okay, if I add 6 on one side of the inequality, I must do it on both sides, right, like that. Okay, cross these out, and I end up with 2x is now greater than or equal to 4 plus 6 is 10. Okay, then I divide. I try to get rid of this because in between here there's multiplying. And so the opposite of multiplying is dividing. And so try to cancel those out. Whatever I do to one side must do to the other side. Notice this isn't any different than what we've been doing all for the last month or more. All right, so not a whole lot different. These will cancel out. 2 divided by 2 will actually cross out and it will go away. And what do I have left? I like to rewrite it over here. I've got x, and it's going to be greater than or equal to. Do not flip the inequality unless you multiply or divide by a negative. This one is positive. This number that I'm dividing by is just 2, so 10 divided by 2 is 5. And there's my final answer right like that. This represents all numbers. Can make this statement true. All numbers that are larger or equal to 5 will make it a true statement. All right? And so with that, it does say, no, it doesn't say graph it, so no need to graph it. We've had enough practice graphing it. All right. So with that said, this is a multi-step inequality with variables on both sides, just adding another layer of difficulty to our stuff.